Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guy. This is another episode of the C programming series. In this video we are going to learn about file input and output. So right now we do know how normal input and output works in C, and we have used this normal and input and output a lot, but this only stores stuff in computers random access memory, which means that it's lost as soon as we close the program. But we most often we want to have some kind of way to persistently store data on the disk so that we can read it later and do stuff with it. So we are now going to learn how to actually read and write to and from files, so that we can store those files on disk and then read them again. So in order to learn how to do file, the file functions are present in standard input output, because file IO is also just like normal IO. So in order to use a file, we first need to create a file pointer. This is a pointer of type file. Now file here is basically a struct, but the internal representation, the actual values present in this struct are OS dependent, and we should have no concern with them. We should not worry about what might be present in this file. We can go ahead and create a pointer to this type, and we can call it fp, file pointer for short, and we can set this to using a function called fopen, which opens a file. Now we can go ahead and put like the file's name here in the first argument, and we can say something like, actually let's say something like name.txt, and then follow this we need to put a writing mode here. Now this mode can be anything, and there are a bunch of different modes which we will learn, but we are going to learn about the write mode, which means W. If we just put W in the string, that means that it's going to open the file for writing. If the file does not exist, then it's going to create the file, and we are going to basically erase whatever is present in the file, and we are going to start over from the beginning of the file. So this is what this W write mode means. So after doing this, what we can do is we can write something to it. There's actually an fwrite function to allow us to write bytes, but we want to not write bytes right now. We don't want to we want to write something else, so we can use fprintf here. This is just like printf, but we first put file pointer here, and the other arguments are just like printf. We can put anything here, let's just say the hello world guy, and we can put a new line if we want to, and we can't put we can also leave it, because if we put it, then the actual new line will be put in the file, or else it won't be. And we can also of course add format specifiers if we want to. I'm not going to do that, and this will actually write that to the file. Now once you are done using the file, you should always close the file. For this short program, when our program ends, all files are automatically closed, which means this line is not really necessary, but when we are doing some larger programs, then this becomes necessary, because we often want to open up a file, read some data or write some data to it, and then when we don't need it, because we might want to do something after it, we should automatically close the file, because if we don't, then it will be open, it will remain open until the program is closed, and that can cause it will not allow any other program to access it, even though we are not using it, and that's just a waste of resources. So we should close a file when we are done using it anyways. So let's go ahead and open up the terminal, and let's go ahead and compile it using hello.c. and after I have done that, if it actually compiles correctly, you should see that it does. And now if I run the a.exe file, then you can see it does nothing here. But if I go ahead and open up here, you can see name.txt, which was not here before it's created, and it creates it got the hello world guy as contents. Now if I go ahead and make put /n here, and I go ahead and run it now with the /n, which means we are putting a new line here as well, then what you should see is that in name.txt now we have got a second line as well, and the cursor is now here. So you can see that this is basically how this works. So this is pretty awesome, and we can write the file. Now we can also read from the file. Now in order to read from the file, we need to open it for reading mode using R, and we want to not just fprintf, but we can use fscanf like that. And of course, if we are doing fscanf, we want to actually read something, so that means that we don't do it like that. We need to create a string here. Let's just create like a string is of course a character array, so we can create a character array of name, and we can make it, for example, 50 bytes, let's just say 128 bytes, and this should be enough characters for most names, but it can still be a bit too much. Now we can use a function called fgets or fgets, and this will allow us to take take strings more efficiently. So we can put name here and follow this by the maximum count, which means it won't exceed that, and we won't have buffer overflows. We can put 128 here, and for the stream we can just put fp here, and yeah, that's all pretty awesome. Now let's go ahead and gcc run that and run this. And what you should actually, we don't actually know if it worked because we need to print also. Let us print this by we can format specifier s. Using this we can go ahead and easily put the name variable here, and let's go ahead and compile this actually like that, and you can see this says the hello world guy, which was the name stored here. Now if we store some else other name, if we put any other data in here, what you should see is that it manages to read that correctly as well. So yeah, this was basically the basic idea of how file IO works. And actually you might not have seen my terminal, so let me just show you. You can see if I ran the program, it managed to read that data correctly as well. Anyways, so yeah, this is pretty much it for this video. In the next video we are going to learn about some more advanced concepts about file IO, and you should stay tuned for that, and make sure that you like and subscribe as well. And we are also going to learn how to write in binary format instead of text format, and so stay tuned for that. I will see you in the next one, and bye.